those of us that are genuinely kind-hearted people, oftentimes we will struggle with being nice, right? It's good to be nice. It means something to be nice. Being nice is something worth achieving. However, oftentimes what we realize at a certain point is that being nice also means there's a price to be paid. It comes at a cost. And actually being nice can come at the cost of you sacrificing yourself bit by bit by bit. And in this video today, I want us to look at how being nice literally eats away, chips away at who you are, and literally will kill you from the inside, where you no longer exist and even matter anymore in your own life. I want to share a little story just as an example about how being nice is a detriment. I have homeschooled from time to time, just depending on the needs of what my family needed. And there was this homeschool group that I was a part of. And for those of you that don't know, homeschool, you do the majority of the work of school at home, but then oftentimes there's a homeschool group that you can connect to. So your kids are still socializing and, having time with others, peers their own age. So we would connect with this homeschool group on a weekly basis. And, there's different moms, different styles of homeschooling, different ways of operating within the family. And there was this one mom that would always stand out to me because, yeah, I understand. She had quite a few children. I don't know if it was 4 or 5. I can't remember exactly. But there was, at least 3 or more. So I can get it. Like, she's probably tired and this and that. But then you start to see how the moms operate and parent. And her kids were running the show. Her oldest was probably about 12, maybe 13, and they were in charge. And you could just see the exhaustion on this mom's face when trying to fight with this very strong-willed 12 or 13-year-old. I get that, right? No judgment there. Some of the children come out very strong-willed, right? But the mom still needed to be able to hold that strong boundary and be in charge of the group in order for it to be successful. And you could just see how what looked like being nice on the surface was actually her giving up. And what happens when we do that, the cost that it then creates inside us, is that those muscles and ability to ask for what we want, stand up for ourselves when we're in a conversation and we're not painted in the best light, or there's inaccuracies about us, right? It's really easy for us to not have those muscles in order to interject and go, hey, that's actually not how it happened. And this can happen with how we grow up in childhood. This can happen in different relationships that we're a part of. Somehow along the line, what happens is our body learns that it's much safer to be nice. This is how we're going to get through this. Rocking the boat in any way is way more dangerous. So how do we change this? Once we are recognizing this pattern within ourselves of, okay, why am I always the one being sacrificed here? How come I always am the one that's at the disadvantage here? And if you need help recognizing these patterns, I have a free journal down below. You can just click the link, it's free. And I crafted it purposely to help us find these patterns that we might not even be aware of, because they're really insidious. It's really easy to allow ourselves to be Mr. or Mrs. Nice Guy or Girl, because it's easy in the moment. It's what we're used to as well. But what happens then afterward is it's like, oh, that wasn't exactly the right story. It hits us the wrong way. It eats at who we are. Who we are becomes weakened, and kind of, to paint a picture, water falling over rocks, right? Or eroding at the shore. The shore erodes bit after bit over time until it is a gigantic amount of space between that authentic version of yourself that you once were. And how we combat this isn't then to turn into Mr. or Mrs., mean guy or mean person. It is to lean into authenticity, to honor ourselves in each moment. We can be kind in how we say, hey, actually, Brenda, I was supposed to leave work early today. If there's like who's leaving work early today? Somebody gets to leave work early today. And Brenda's like, oh, I am, for the 20th time. And maybe there's a rotation that goes along, right? And this is where we lean into that authenticity of, actually, Brenda, it's my turn to leave early. That's going to bring up some awkwardness within yourself. If you're not used to doing that, your body is going to potentially stiffen up. It might be hard for your voice to talk, but it's really important that in the moment that you can, to speak up for yourself. You might not even recognize it until afterward. This happened to me lots and lots of times where after the moment I go, I really wish I would have said this for myself. I really wish I would have said that for myself. There's kind of a de-thawing that happens afterward, but it's still very important to play that through of how I wish I would have stood up for myself, what I wish I would have said in the moment, because it's the same as the basketball player that imagines himself shooting those free throws over and over and over again. Studies show that there's this significant percentage of increase that happens just visualizing the free throw shots, right? So we can do the same thing with ourselves. Yeah, we might be replaying it back like, I wish I would have said this and that and that. But what we're also doing is we are replaying how I want to stand up for myself in the future, what that would look like. And then if you can, feel into how would I feel in that moment if I was to say that, and to keep reminding yourself, it's okay. It's okay. This is important. Me being authentic to myself is important because I'm not going to abandon myself anymore. I don't have to be mean about it, right? Or cruel, but it's way more cruel. I would rather someone be weird and awkward and come out mean than to have them sacrifice themselves 1 minute longer. Like, it's not going to look perfect the first time out. And it's going to definitely feel awkward, weird, and like you're a bully, potentially. But that's how we learn. That's how we start it. Just catching it in the moment, starting it bit by bit. And again, if you need help catching these patterns, or maybe it helps you to journal out what it would look like, please click the link down below, get my free journal, and watch this next video for tips on continuing on how to be your best self.